Dialogue Circle. I'm Captain Preetham Madhukar, your host, a will strength and elite performance coach and mentor. And I'm also an author of the book Three Culprits: Laziness, Fear, and Doubt. And today with me, I have an amazing expert, personal branding strategist, Sakshi Jha, and who's here to share some amazing insights. Already in the back end, she has already shared so many amazing tips, and I'm waiting to hear more from her. And thank you, Sakshi, for taking time out. And uh, I want to, ask you plenty questions. Let's get started. Yeah.
Yeah,
How, how are you today, and are you excited to share all this knowledge that you accumulated?
yeah, very excited. I've been waiting for this since we have planned it for days now, I think months,
Yeah,
but now finally doing this.
superb. And I also want to thank the audience listening in for taking time out today for being here, and hope we can give you amazing value, a ton of knowledge today about how to grow your LinkedIn profile and why it is so important to do so. Especially like we have tagged our topic today, LinkedIn mastery for busy founders and entrepreneurs. And if you're one of them, definitely you should not miss. Stay tuned until the end. There are a lot of amazing insights you're going to get. Sakshi, like you were sharing a little earlier as well, like like you said, don't underestimate LinkedIn. Start early if you can, right? What do you mean by that?
What I mean by that is almost everything you see around you, around me, around everyone is on. Everything is coming online. All the
Mhm.
products, the services are sort of coming online. So if you are somebody who is, selling their services or any sort of product,
Okay.
I think the best way to do it is by creating content.
Mhm.
And to be honest, I can see that from 2 to 3 years, everyone is going to create content. It's
Mhm.
actually saturated in a way. People still complain that it has already gotten saturated, but in the coming years, it's going to get more. So it's
Mhm.
better if you start today. You'll be ahead of a lot of people. You'll have a lot of opportunities, and the market, yes, definitely might saturate at that time. But if you started early, then of course you'll be way ahead in the game.
Super. And how did you start this itself? Like, how did you come onto LinkedIn? If you could share some thought, I mean, your story behind that.
So I did never planned to be on LinkedIn. To be honest, I did not even know much about LinkedIn or the power of LinkedIn, except for the fact that people use it for jobs. So I think 3 to 4 years back, this was the notion. LinkedIn, people have started using LinkedIn in a much better way since COVID. I think,
Hmm.
you know, when people were actually switching jobs or looking for jobs on LinkedIn through the job section, I think people also started sharing their stories.
Hmm.
I mean, people were already doing it, but they started doing it more. And even I was one of them.
Okay.
So I was just a college student. I didn't have much to do. I was not even on LinkedIn to share or to look for job or to share my story.
Hmm.
But I was definitely told by one of my teachers or one of my friends, I guess, that because I loved writing. I've always been someone who loves writing, sharing stories, writing, like storytelling, and that's why I did my graduation also in English literature. So when COVID happened, we didn't have college, we didn't have anything else to do. So somebody told me that you should check out LinkedIn. You'll know what people in English honors are doing. That was my only idea. That okay, I can get connected with people there who could be from my own background, and I'll find out what else to do because I was pretty much sure I don't want to do my masters in this.
Okay.
So then, yeah, I joined LinkedIn and I saw how people were creating content. They were working with clients. I came to know about freelancing, which I had never even thought of. And I thought, why not? Let's just do this. I learned a lot from people like Shreya Patar and Sahili Chatterjee at that time. These two were the big names back then also. So I learned what exactly they're happening doing and what exactly freelancing is, and how can I make my name in this and everything. Learned a few skills. One was, of course, I had knack for writing, but I wanted to write to sell. I
Mm,
wanted to write, which actually starts helping my clients in a way that I use it as a source of income, because why not? So that's how my LinkedIn journey started. I started creating content, and I think after posting around 10 to 15, I think after roughly posting out 15 contents, my LinkedIn started boosting. I started getting clients. I started getting all sorts of, opportunities. I even got clients from Singapore, my first international client. And at that time, I didn't even know what to charge, what not to charge. I was just sort of getting my hands on everything that I could. So from there on, I didn't stop. But I did when colleges reopened, then I had to focus on my classes. So back and forth, and then that's how my LinkedIn paused. And I also didn't pay much attention to it. So that's when I realized that when you stop posting on LinkedIn, or when you stop giving LinkedIn your time, LinkedIn will stop giving you opportunities.
mm,
And that's from there on, the clients that I had were the only clients, or the clients that I got from referrals. I did
okay.
not get any inbound leads,
Mm,
which taught me a very good lesson there. So I again rewired my strategy and started again and posting very aggressively, very strategically, engaged with my community, made sure that I'm only sort of adding the active member in my connections and not randomly just adding anybody. So did everything that I could in the best possible way, and that's how I am here today.
mm.
I mean,
Super.
able to get good, fair enough inbound leads, as well as I'm not relying on a total 9 to 5 job. Even I don't have a job as of now. I left my job only because I wanted to focus here.
Yeah, brilliant. I think it's inspiring to hear this story. I'm sure many people would also like be interested in learning more. I've shared a question format with the audience in case you want to reach out to Sakshi or me. I'm a will strength coach. Then I will be able to. I will share those links. I'm sharing the link again, Sukanya. Link is not accessible, and I will share the link again. So before we get on, thank you audience for wherever you may be watching in whichever platform, YouTube, Twitter, LinkedIn, Facebook. Thank you for taking time out. Hope you get amazing insights. We are just waiting to share a lot, and Sakshi has got a ton of information for LinkedIn brand mastery. And Sakshi, what would you say for people who probably don't even have an account? Where should they even start off? What should they get? It can be overwhelming for some people.
I would say first make an account if you don't have one.
Okay.
Then of course, then comes the question, what do we do? When even I have got questions like, actually I don't have any skills. So what can you do in that case? So of
Mm,
course you explore, figure out what your, because I loved writing, so I kept my skills around it. I learned copywriting, content writing, blog writing, everything.
mm,
And today I'm writing and working with founders. So you have to figure out, if you sort of like art, you can get into graphic designing, website designing, and there are, and you can learn also a lot from the people who are in the same, like in the same industry as me. But like a digital marketing is a, I come from a digital marketing agency only. I
okay.
mean industry. So that's a very broad industry, and content is just a small part of it, right? There's performance marketing, growth performance marketing, email marketing, SEO, a lot of things. So you figure out what exactly you want to learn, and then invest in learning that skill. There are plenty of resources available. You can learn it from mentorships. You can learn it from people who are doing this on everyday basis. Connect with them. Get on with them like on one-to-one sessions. Of course, YouTube always has the option to give you multiple resources, and there are multiple resources basically if you want to hone your skills.
Okay.
And then you start creating content around it. You can send personalized messages to the target audience or the customers or the clients you want to target, and that's where you start selling the journey.
Nice. And also for the viewers, wherever you may be listening in, please post your question, whichever platform you're watching this live. Post your questions directly in the chat. It does come up to us here, and then we can answer your questions. I'm getting some questions already. Superb. Thank you so much for your questions and taking the time out here. I have Tark, who's thank you, Tark. Namaste. And how can you apply for LinkedIn vacancy? Is this something that you would want to take up?
I didn't get the question. LinkedIn vacancy.
LinkedIn vacancy. Okay, Tark, if you could repost, maybe we'll take that up. And okay, we will keep moving on. If there is questions, then please do ask on LinkedIn brand mastery, and Sakshi would be here to share a lot more insights into you. Sukanya, hi. You're asking what exactly are inbound and outbound leads that you mentioned, Sakshi.
Okay, so inbounds are there are two types of leads. You lead are when you get a client, a prospect, basically. And once you close that that prospect becomes your client, right? Um, Leads are those. Uh, when I create content, sometimes founders who are actually my target, whom I want to reach out and work with, founders are the leads, and they sometimes approach me. I don't really necessarily have to message them. They read my content, and they drop a message in my inbox saying that, hey, Sakshi, read your post, and I am really looking for somebody to help me with my LinkedIn personal branding. Could you please share? Can we get on a call? Something like this. So when I get a message from prospect, that is inbound. And when I send them a message through cold emailing or through like outreaching, basically, when I send them a message, that is outbounding.
Okay. And how much time would you suggest, especially somebody who's starting off or who got less followers, less connections? What is the first thing that they can do? Just one step, if you could give them some sort of an advice. One step that they can take immediately.
To increase follower, or I didn't
Increase
get the
followers, increase followers. What can they do? One thing.
See, there are two ways of increasing followers. One is just randomly sending requests to people, because when you send requests, they accept, they follow, you follow. That is one mutual thing.
Okay.
So you have to make sure what exactly do you want. You just want to increase your followers, or you want to build an audience of, an audience who's active and who can actually have the potential of becoming your paying client.
Hmm.
If you want to do that, then of course you do a Boolean search. Like
Hmm.
for me, I do DTC founders. So the founders who have DTC or somebody like any founder sort of keyword in their titles, they
Hmm.
will be listed there, and I reach out to them.
Okay.
So that is
What
how
do you mean
you
by
build a
Boolean
community.
search? What do you mean by Boolean search?
So there's a search bar, right,
LinkedIn. Okay.
on LinkedIn. Yeah, and then you just put the right keyword there,
Okay.
and it gives you the result. If that keyword is mentioned on a profile, then the profile shows up in that list.
Okay. Understood. Understood. Super.
Yeah.
And I also want to know, like, what kind of content should one share? I mean, you were going through my LinkedIn profile as well a little while back, and you were sharing some insights about creating engagement and finding the right quality leads to grow, right? And again, you mentioned
Hmm.
getting those quality leads. So, what kind of content should one post? Should it be like an image, a video, a text? Should it be long, short? What is the way to go about?
So LinkedIn is promoting also all types of formats,
Okay.
and but it's better that you stick to all of them. You stay open to all of them, because only one type of content becomes monotonous for an audience. There's
Okay.
always better ways, and it's always better when LinkedIn is giving you an opportunity to post it in different formats. Why not?
Hmm.
And to give you an example as to what kind of content you should post,
Hmm.
so you help people with, as if I take your profile,
Hmm.
then it shows that you, yeah, so you can of course create content around mentorship.
Hmm.
Then of course you are a coach as well, so you can create content about that. You can talk about your experiences in the past. You can talk about will strength, elite performance, and leadership,
Hmm.
because these are some areas where which you target,
Hmm.
right?
Yeah.
You can start from there.
Okay.
And somebody who is a student, the person can definitely start by talking about the subjects, the learning, what they want to do in the future. If they want, it should always post about the queries as to what they want to do
Hmm.
and how to proceed further. Because there are CEOs, there are legend founders and CEOs, all C-level executives out there on LinkedIn, and you never know who's watching you from there. You can just get an opportunity and answer from anybody.
Hmm.
So one should definitely leverage that.
Okay. And like I've made many of the mistakes that you've been sharing, and hopefully keep correcting that. What are the common mistakes that you see people, when you go to somebody's post or you see something come up, like this is so wrong, I wish they could have done this different. What two, three things or three things that you could share commonly you see?
So first of all, the formatting, like, and the kind of language people use.
Hmm.
Make sure the language that you're using is not very high level and it's easy to understand. It's simple, does not include any jargons and all, because it's for the common people. You
Hmm.
don't want to show off your English skills here. You just want to convey a message,
Hmm.
right? Secondly, hook lines. The
Hmm.
hook lines have, because LinkedIn only shows the first two lines, so the first lines for that matter, and then it has a see more option. So you
Hmm.
want your audience or the audience, you want the audience to click on that see more,
Hmm.
right? So your hook should be strong enough, which compels your audience to click on it.
Hmm.
Otherwise, nobody will read the content.
Okay.
So please do not be ever. So whenever I see vague hook lines, I feel like telling and messaging the person that your content in the middle part is amazing, the body is amazing, but maybe it did not reach such good traction, get traction because of the hook lines.
Hmm.
Yeah, and then you want to keep the CTA also very strong and something very open ended,
Hmm.
not only to for a restricted audience to reply to. Keep
Hmm.
it a little generic also, so that anybody who sees your content on a feed can
Hmm.
reply or can share their point of view.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
your CTA also plays a very important role.
Okay.
These are the few things I usually check in a content. And of course, if a content has some proof and facts to back up the kind of conclusion a creator is putting, that
Hmm.
works very well.
You mentioned a good conclusion at the end for the message, is it?
No, no, no. For example, I am sharing a piece of content. It, of course, should will be based on some experience,
Okay.
right?
Hmm.
So it's always better that I try to attach some sort of proof,
Hmm.
some sort of testament that yes, this happened, this is how it happened,
Hmm.
some sort of story also, which connects the dots.
Okay, understood. Understood.
Yeah.
Sometimes I see people, let's say for images especially, they have posted an image, nothing to do with the content they've written. How good as a strategy is that? Is it like helpful, not helpful, confusing?
I think it's helpful because LinkedIn is pushing content with stick images. Another reason is behind every screen is a person sitting just like you and me.
Mm.
So if you are showing a real face as to
Mm.
who is writing this content, I don't think people connect even more,
Okay.
when you have a face attached to anything.
Mm.
So yeah, that works well.
Interesting. And I have a question, a few more questions actually. This is from Sukanya. Hey Sukanya, thank you for your questions. I hope viewers, wherever you're watching, thank you so much for your time, taking time out and being here, having this, I'm having this amazing session with Sakshi. And I hope you're learning a lot and you can implement the insights that she's sharing. I'm going to be sharing a link now. And this is to connect with both me and Sakshi. Sakshi is a LinkedIn branding strategist and expert who advises founders and entrepreneurs, while I am a will strength or an elite performance coach for founders and entrepreneurs, and any executive and entrepreneur who wants to really up their game and become world class, start doing your job to highest levels. I've shared a question form on whichever platform you're watching. You may get this there. Click this link, fill out the questions and leave it. Today probably will not be taking those questions in the form, but later on Sakshi or my team will reach out to you and connect and see how we can help you grow and really become a top performer. So getting back on these questions, this is from Sukanya. How and when should we start monetizing? I mean, what is the official process? If you could suggest any platform where I can learn about all this, coming to it, how and when should we start monetizing our followers and other things?
Okay, so Sukanya, if you, I'm considering you want to know if you already have a skill, right? And you're not sure about when to monetize or when to start selling that skill to your clients, right? So I think the best way would be when you realize that yes, you have confidence that you'll be able to make money out of it. Because freelancing or owning a skill is not just about now giving your services. It does involve talking to somebody who needs your service, then sort of closing them. Then comes the game of giving and giving them everything thing that they need. Your deliverables has to do justice with the kind of price that you quote, right? So it is a monetizing skill is just one part, but what goes behind it is a whole together different thing. You've sort of become a businessman because you take care of everything as a solopreneur. You don't have a team initially, right? So when to start is when you have confidence that yes, the kind of content or the kind of work that I'm doing is getting results. Do it for free if you're so unsure about whether or not to start. You can pick up any client. For example, if you're a website designer, right? I'm just taking an example. I'm not sure what kind of skills you have, but I'm just giving an example. If you're a website designer, you can just pick up any good website or any website that you think needs improvement, and you can like sort of redo it and send it to the client. I was on your website this today and I saw these things were missing. And let me know if you're interested. If the person does respond and if he sees, you will know the response. If it makes them happy, then of course you might just get a client there. If not, but even so, of course, you know one thing which is you need to improve. And second, you can of course take feedback. So it's better that if you're not sure whether to start now or not, you can do free services for one or two people, and then from there on you can. Also, there's another option. You always have the option to work with agencies. So there are agencies also who are helping clients and who are selling their services as white label, right? So what you can do is you can reach out to an agency owner. You can tell them that hey, I'm looking for opportunities like this, and I see that you do this uh, for your clients. Let me know if you have something. You can say, let me know if you can give me an opportunity, and if they like your work, you can work under them. Working under an agency will help you a lot to learn, especially when you have somebody who is doing the same thing.
So,
I hope that answers the question.
yeah, brilliantly put, Sakshi. Just to add a little further to Sakshi's already thoughts, is like when your intent is to serve and you have something that you think can add value. Okay, go ahead and add value to that person's life. Maybe initially, if you haven't done it before, do it for free. Sakshi's already mentioned, do it for free, and then Later on you can think of monetizing it and saying that, okay, I want to monetize. What is the value of this solution to you? What does it build or give you in the short term or long term, right? That is something only they can answer. Maybe it's important, not important, and then you tell them, okay, that is the value of the service. Maybe charge half of that and say, this is the fee that I want to monetize. You can have a one follower on your LinkedIn page. If they are high quality, they will give you that business. Okay, there are people probably who have less than me followers having 10x more business income because the quality of lead is so high for them, right? It depends on, are you in the niche segment, are you in a very mass segment? So all those factors will be into. So
Correct.
coming back to another question, Vaishnavi is saying the content which we are creating is sometimes already created somewhere. Okay, how can we overcome these thoughts before publishing the content? Like if you can give some practical tips. This is a doubt that I myself had for so long, that whatever I want to put is already put by somebody. Why even bother? But then you can always give a fresh perspective, give some insight from your life experience. Your life is unique to you. You have a fresh perspective to how things are. You can always add that. People will be interested. I'm not talking from LinkedIn, I'm talking in general, wherever you are posting. And that will add an amazing value to that person's life. Sakshi, your thoughts?
I feel the same. I am sure that me as a personal branding strategist face the challenge, and there are many people. Okay, and there are many people who feel the same challenges, but of course, audiences are different. The characters are different. The clients are different. My story is different, and
Hmm.
they say that a good writer can write one sentence in 1,000 ways. So I try to stick to that. And I always add my fresh perspective because, of course, as a personal branding strategist, I also have to post content as to why this is important. And I'm sure, just like me, many others are doing it. But
Hmm.
I make sure that my USP is different than theirs, and I try to create content around my USP, which stands out.
Hmm. Okay. I'm just checking some more questions. And before that, I would also like to share something else. And I'm also an author of the book Three Culprits, and we help people become elite performers. I'm going to share a form. This form is going to be available wherever you're watching. It's called the Success Accelerator. And if you're interested, the form is there. You want to know more about what this is about, click the form. And after this live dialogue is done, you can complete it, and somebody from my team will connect and we can have a call. So continuing ahead, and please keep posting your questions. I'm getting a ton of questions here. It's amazing to see this engagement and interactions. Thank you guys for this. And let me take the next question. Very valid question from Neha. She's asking, how should we begin a conversation with a potential client in their DMs?
Okay, so first of all, if you don't have a premium account, then LinkedIn doesn't allow you to directly send a message. You'll have to first add them to your network. Now, many founders don't randomly accept the friend request, I mean, the connection request as well. But the LinkedIn does allow you to send a request with a personalized note with limited characters, right? You can do is at founders, and but try not to say sell anything in the first message itself. What I do is I just take a quick hygiene check of the founder's profile I want to reach out, and I add a few lines that, hey, XYZ person, I mean, suppose, hey Preetham, I want to reach out to him. Hey Preetham, I was on your profile today, and I saw that you have some things are little like, now he doesn't have a post on his profile. But in case he has one, so I let him know that hey, I went through your profile and read this post. I was nodding through the lines, but I feel if the CTAs and hooks could be better, the traction would have been much better. And trust me, I've even closed clients around these lines.
Mm.
In fact, there have been times when the founder or the potential client even texted me that could you like rewrite it and send it to me, and I did because I was just at that moment I needed more opportunities to work. So with such positions, with somebody who has a position, even if it was for writing for free, I did it, and they liked it.
Okay.
So that is one way of doing it. You just tell them what they're missing, but in a very subtle way. Don't tell them that I can do it in a better way. I just say that, hey, I think the CTA or hook could have been a little more crispy or could have been a little better. It your because the title of the post is adding a lot of value, the content which has a lot of value. Only the hook line is a little vague. So I think this could be the reason why it did not hit that traction. So I did not say that I'm going to do it. I did not mention that I can help you with it. They only came to me that yes, can you rewrite it for us? And when I did, they liked it, and later on I closed them.
So
So
I think it's a good thing
that's
of how
one.
you're monetizing your skills and your knowledge in this domain of LinkedIn mastery. Superb. I have another question. This is from Sudhanshu Shekhar. How to find the best opportunity in LinkedIn in a healthier way? I'm not sure if I understood that. How to best develop ways to get attention?
How to develop best ways to get attention is to optimize your profile. Your profile should give a clear idea as to what you do for any visitor. If I take a look of your profile, I should have a fair idea of what you do, how you do, and what your USP is,
Hmm.
especially whom you work with.
Okay.
Secondly, how to find the best opportunity in a healthy way. I didn't get that. Second way of getting attention is through creating content that adds value, content with good hook lines, and content that speaks about your services and how it can help people who have problems and to which your services have solutions.
Super. And Sukanya is thanking us. Absolutely, completely agree. Thank you so much for both of you. Thank you, Sukanya, for your questions. It
Thank
makes
you.
us also want to contribute and share some insights. And there's another question: salary of entrepreneurs maybe not relevant for this topic that we are doing.
Yeah.
Something that it's wide. It could be anything you want it to be. Just great. And okay, let's get back to some of our own questions that we have. What is the three things that the audience could do immediately? Let's say at the end of this dialogues, they want to go back and recheck their LinkedIn, right? And say, man, I want to just change a little bit of this and that. Okay. Three simple things that they could do.
Optimize your profile.
Okay.
Take a look of your profile. Just check if you want. You can just take a look at my profile, and you would know what I do, who I work with, and how I do it. These three things your profile should answer, right? So
Okay.
fix that: what you do, how you do it, and who you work with. Second would be to with start connecting with people who have the potential to become your customer, your client. Third, start creating content. I cannot emphasize on how much content like can bring you like the best of the opportunities. And LinkedIn does not hold had the location barrier, so of
Hmm.
course it can get opportunity from all across the globe. You don't know who's looking at your profile, right? Who's engaging with your content. So start creating content.
And how often? Because there are so many thoughts here and there. Post this much, once a week, twice a day, once a day, all sorts of things. What would be your own mantra or advice that you give? How
So I
often
won't
enough, or for a start?
somebody who wants to do it very regularly, I would say take 18 hours gap. Don't post one post after the another. I think there should be a 18-hour gap between the two posts if you want to post every day. But I
Mm.
think the ideal ratio to post is about 3 to 4 times a week,
Okay.
because it has that reminder factor, and it keeps that recall factor that yes, Sakshi Jha is somebody who posts around this time, and her last post was this, her this post was this. You don't want to take too much of a gap, because then of course people forget you, because so many people are creating content every day.
Mhm.
You also want to be in that same loop. So I think a good 3 to 4 posts in a week.
Okay. That sounds, I think, achievable if people can plan it and write their content or keep their content prepared in a way.
Yeah, definitely. A content strategy is a must. To
And
I mean,
this is a question that comes to me also sometimes is I can see a lot of people writing like really lengthy articles, and my style is just to keep it short and succinct. And I would hesitate to put this sometimes, thinking that, man, should I write this long, lengthy, or is it okay to just put few lines and share some thoughts? What is your own take? Should it be like a big article? Does LinkedIn push such things?
I think if your content is valuable,
Okay.
then there's no fear. You shouldn't fear about, or you shouldn't worry about putting long form articles or long form posts or short form posts. Of course, you can take advantage of the kind of format that you should use. If you think that a long form post is somebody you will not is something people will not spend time reading it, then of course you can break it down into carousel format, and you can share it by making carousel of it. And then second, if you have short form posts, then people have started using this tweet kind of template, and then they put this quote or whatever, and any sort of one liner, two liner they want to get the traction, and to basically that is to get attention of
Hmm.
the conclusion that they have, and then they write few lines above it as caption. So
Okay.
you can do that as well.
Okay.
Apart from that, LinkedIn is pushing a lot of videos also. So you can, if you feel that no, I don't want to write so much, I don't want to create anything, you can just create videos like you do it on Reels, and you can upload it here.
Super. And I would also like to thank the reader viewers for taking time out now. And Sakshi and me, we are both specialists in our own domain. And Sakshi helps founders and entrepreneurs build their personal LinkedIn brand mastery. And I'm going to be sharing a link where, in case you want to reach out to Sakshi for more personalized consultation, where you want to use her services in a more formally, especially if you're running a company, an organization, you're not having time, she would be an amazing person to manage and advise you. And similarly, if you're somebody who's an executive, an entrepreneur who wants to become an elite performer, who wants to become 10x better than where you are in your business and in some goal that you're pursuing, then do reach out to me. I'm an elite performance coach, help you to achieve your dream goals. There is a method to that madness, and I can help you get there. And if you like to reach out to me, it's the same question. Please fill out that form, and we will get back to you. You can choose what you want to talk about, then we will also get a context on uh, who you're looking for. So with that, I have a couple of more questions coming up. This is from Neha. It's difficult to find ideas for creating relevant and useful content on a daily basis. Can you suggest what steps I can start taking so I can have enough ideas flowing in my mind? This is a very relevant question, Neha. This is something that many people come up. I have come up with this challenge sometimes. Sakshi, your thoughts?
So we also face writer's block a lot more now. I mean these days, but I think the best way to keep creating content is by consuming it. Keep feeding information to your mind. I think the more you read, the better ideas you get. Why? Because you have your own perspective, your own opinion that you can share with your audience. For example, if I read Preetham's post on leadership, and I feel that, okay, I also think it can. be written in this way or it can have another angle to, I would rewrite that post. That is called repurposing it, you know? Right. So you can always just listen to podcasts, look for content on Reddit, Quora, LinkedIn, of course, and YouTube. You can just consume, I mean, more content in order to create more content. That's what I do. That's the only thing that is helping me. I read all the content of people who are doing better than me. So everyone who is ahead, like a few steps ahead, or even who are doing amazing in my industry, I'm almost reading I'm reading all of their content as to what they are doing. I also get to learn how they are doing it, from where they are, able to create content, what sources they are using to, create content. A lot of other things you will find out once you start consuming the content of people who are doing better than you. So you can start from there. And of course, the channels that I said, Reddit, Instagram, LinkedIn, YouTube, you can take help from there also. But just keep feeding your brain information.
Yeah, brilliant. I think very relevant. I mean, to share it from a perspective, like if I had to give an advice on a, from an elite performance, the thing becomes like if you're consuming content A, see how you can produce something, even if it is just 3 lines, right?
Right.
Because sometimes we can get into a consumption frenzy or some sort of binge consuming and forget and kind of then realize, my God, everything is already created. One thing we must remember is anything that we can think of, any idea, anything is already there in the world. There is nothing new we will ever create in some ways. And I don't want to be pessimistic, but it's about each human being adding their twist and their lens and views to that idea. That's what makes it unique. That's what will make it Neha's idea, David's idea, the Indra's idea, Jaskirat's idea, whatever it is, becomes your idea and your view of how you see things, and Sakshi's idea or Preetham's idea, anybody like that. And
Correct.
that's what Sakshi was speaking about, and I'm sharing the same thing because it's generic one and coming from an execution point. Let not others post overwhelm you. Read a post and you really liked it and you felt that you had some other way in which you could present. Just go ahead and post it. You already have one post out there, right? And
Correct.
another question from David. How to optimize your LinkedIn profile? Yeah, Sakshi, you were mentioning LinkedIn profile many times. I think a question has come up. What you do? How do you do it? Who do you do it for? This is from David.
How to optimize your LinkedIn profile? Um,
Give
what
them,
you do, how you do it, who you
if,
do it.
if you could just give them maybe 3 steps, so that would be a more chewable thing for a session like this.
Right. So I think you start firstly, what you should know what you want to show, because your LinkedIn profile is more than a resume.
Hmm.
So
If you
it's
could,
better.
yeah, if you could
Sorry.
take my profile, so then I can also interact, okay, and tell what is missing or what I have done well, not done well.
So I think best.
I'm sharing my LinkedIn profile, so you could also take a look at that while Sakshi is going to share some comments, and then you know what you need to change for yourself as well, or what you need to up the game.
Right. So I can see that your profile has all the keywords that you know that shows that what you do.
Okay.
Will strength and elite performer, mentors, professional elite leaders, founder of skill beyond education, parenting coach, stargazing guide, and champion of the No Zero Day movement. There. So these
Mhm.
are the kind of keywords that anybody can use in the search bar, and your profile would just pop up. Next,
Okay.
it should definitely have a personalized URL, in the sense
Okay.
it should not have numbers like, the default URL,
Mm.
right?
Like
Uh,
name would be
like yours,
best.
yeah, like yours is www.linkedin.com/in/Preetham, right? Madhukar.
Yeah.
So that is
Mm.
a personalized URL. Then, of course,
Mm.
um, you need to take a look at the about section. Your about section should give a pretty much, it should tell people what exactly you do, how you do it, and what is your way of solving the problems that your customers or your client or the prospect might have, right?
Okay.
Your about section, your education experience should all be on, like everything should be updated, and try to,
Mm.
in your experience section, try to add all the skills that you used while you were working in XYZ organization, how you helped them, what kind of results you were able to get, so
Mm.
people know as to what all things you know in general. And a DP, a professional DP, display picture is very important, and the banner plays a very, very, very big role, which is, I think, very underrated. Also, many times people just see that what you do is written on the banner with your
Mm.
email ID, and they just reach out. Many times
Mm.
that happens. So make sure your banner speaks loud that what you do, right?
Okay.
And it also has a CTA, which could be your email ID.
Mm.
Do not also
That's
forget to add CTA in the about section also. Talk about yourself, give them an idea what your expertise are, what else you can do, how you can help them, and at the end, how they can reach out. The best
mm.
platform for you, for them to reach out to you. These are some
Okay.
basic things that you can do. Always make sure that you have 500 plus connections, because then
Mm.
LinkedIn pushes your profile. And
Mm.
also make sure your 5 stars are complete. So LinkedIn has this 5 star option then. It should be complete. If it is not, then your profile is not optimized.
Okay.
Yeah.
So they get it when they are completing their profile, the star, the 5 star.
Yeah. I mean, since my stars are already complete, um,
Mm.
you will see it's just above the feature section.
Okay.
Yeah.
About the features. Super.
Right.
So, guys, yeah, I hope you're getting a ton of value for your own profile from this and things that you need to keep in mind. Like I said, if you need it more professionally and where you want, you can reach out to Sakshi here. I've shared the link, and you can reach out to me if you have any business or you want to become an elite performer. Both the things are there. I will reshare the questionnaire again towards the end. We're coming to a close. And if you have any more questions, then please do fire away and we can take that up soon. And Sakshi, I think we've covered a lot. If you can share some story about a client, like what was their things like before, you came into their zone or you helped them, and how did things change for them?
Okay. So basically, recently I worked with a founder who's from a D2C industry, and is pretty known D2C brand founder. But he didn't have a LinkedIn profile.
Mm.
Basically, he had a LinkedIn profile, but his LinkedIn profile was not updated. It was a dead profile, and he wanted the best. The reason why founders want to have a LinkedIn which speaks loud about what they do, what not, is it's spreading brand awareness. Also, it's working as brand awareness, right?
Mm.
And generation, today's time, I think people connect with stories more,
Mm.
right? So a founder who's sharing about how they started their brand, a founder who's sharing about how they would able to come up with this solution for their customers adds
Mm.
more value and adds more trust than directly, running ads or anything of that sort.
Mm.
It's one of the best way of organically reaching out to your clients. So that's what I do.
Mm.
I started creating a story as to how he started his brand, what was his first idea, how did he come up with this idea, how did he determine the market cap and everything.
Mm.
And I think in this 4 months, I was able to give him some very promising results as to what he wanted.
Mhm.
So that's how I helped him.
Like, what was the thing that you focused on? Getting more people to follow, or was it on the content and profile building?
It was more on the content profile building, and of course, for people to know what his brand is and
Okay.
how it is helping people, you
Mhm.
know. So that's what I focused majorly on. Spoke about his product,
Mhm.
gave a lot of industry insights, and he also wanted himself to be positioned as a DTC expert,
Okay.
because he's been in this industry for over 2 decades now.
Mm.
So of course that's a very long time, and he had a lot of ideas, but he lacked one thing, which was how to share it with an audience. So I helped him with that, and with everything, all the stories that he had. Lot of people found out about his brands, and had a lot of questions.
Mm.
Even a lot of I think IPOs and a lot of investment people were also reached out to him. People
Okay.
who went to investment and VCs also reached out to him. So that adds a lot when you are sharing content from a founder's profile.
Okay. Super. And I have one more question here coming up. Like, how can someone stay up to date with changes and new features on LinkedIn to ensure that their personal brand stays current and relevant, right? Like, how do we go about?
Could you repeat the question?
Like, how can someone stay up to date with changes and new features that comes on LinkedIn? Like sometimes LinkedIn will push some kinds of post or make it relevant. Like, how do you keep yourself aware?
So of course you can always just check the LinkedIn news. You can check Google for that.
Hmm.
But one way is to be active on LinkedIn. So
Okay.
you will notice that 2 or 3 years back, people were not sharing their pictures. This is something which recently started around last year,
Okay.
right? Yeah. So I just came to know about it by because everyone else was doing it and LinkedIn was pushing it. So
Hmm.
suddenly the posts without a text-based post without pictures were not getting good traction. So
Okay.
everyone else also started adding a picture. That's how
Hmm.
we also found out that okay, now LinkedIn is pushing more image-based, video-based, text-based,
Hmm.
text in with image-based posts, and
Hmm.
that's how we all started using it.
Okay. And one more final question for the close is how to hashtag properly. You know, how many hashtags to put, and what are the correct hashtags for a post.
There are hard and fast rule as to what exactly uh, you should be using or how many. What exactly, of course, there is an answer for that. But
Mhm.
how many, don't just choose like bombard your post with all the relevant hashtags. Don't do that. Pick the major hashtag. Like, for example, if I'm working with a client who's into travel space, then
Mhm.
I would use travel, travel and tourism, travel industry,
Mhm.
hospitality,
Mhm.
and if he's an entrepreneur, maybe just add hashtag entrepreneur as well, so that
Mhm.
it gets reached out. Like it also comes in front of a lot of
Mhm.
people who are from the same
Mhm.
bracket.
Mhm.
So yeah, I think 6 to 7 makes sense, but don't just clutter all of them in one go.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Superb. And is there any other audience question? I'm going to share a few links here. Okay. Sakshi is, an amazing coach and a mentor for people who want to build their brand mastery. I've shared that question, and I'm also going to be sharing a link about Success Accelerator. It's a program that I conduct, and if you like to know more about it, for building your success as an executive or an entrepreneur, then do fill out this form. And for anything else, keep continuing to follow this channel, wherever you may be watching, so you can get some amazing speakers, sharing this amazing insights into how you can build your life, build your business. And I hope you had a great time today learning many things. I've certainly learned a lot about how to tweak and improve my profile and get better. And mostly, thank you, Sakshi, for taking time out, sharing so much with the viewers. Amazing
Thank
insights and amazing what you've been able to achieve. And do keep continuing and do keep inspiring people with your posts. And I wish you a tremendous and massive success.
thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you, Vivas. Thank you for taking time out and listening in all the way in. Thank you so much. Without you, we wouldn't be having value. Thank you for making us, share these insights. Thank you for your time. Have a wonderful evening. Bye bye.